The government decided to conduct an experiment. People on the streets are being asked for their opinion about the island prison.
It makes me feel safe.
It's where we dump our garbage.
Well, I think the death penalty is the real answer to the whole thing.
Why should I pay taxes to support a bunch of killers?
I think it's a good idea. Let them kill each other off.
Afterward, TV journalists review the footage shot in the streets. 3 years ago, the death penalty for first-degree murder was replaced with exile, and now criminals are sent to San Bruno Island, which is better known as the prison island. Escape is impossible because the island is surrounded by minefields, and the only boat passage is guarded by a military destroyer. Now the journalists are preparing to shoot a new film about the island's inhabitants.
Bobby Farr, we can use him. His partner in a $2 million robbery. Bobby didn't want to share.
Yeah. Hey, I know her, Lee Phillips. She threatened United Trust Bank.
Did she do it?
Yeah, in San Francisco, she blew up a bank building.
Oh, A.J. Thomas, now he killed a cop.
Oh, Bunny Campbell did in her mommy and daddy with an ice pick. Her we can use. Joy Lang.
All she did was poison her husband.
You gotta have a maniac.
Dr. Norman Milford, the Mercy Killer.
Recalling the characters from their previous film and looking through their photos, the TV crew feels satisfied. The new film should turn out quite well. Meanwhile, another woman sentenced to relocation to the island is being brought there.
Carmen Sims, by order of Judge Junius Clay, you are sentenced to exile at San Bruno Maximum Security Detention Center for the rest of your natural life. Pursuant to Title 41, Section 7 of the California Penal Code, you are hereby declared legally dead. Sign here.
The angry woman throws away a slip of paper and immediately screams in fear. A man's body is swaying in the waves. When she reaches the shore, she sees several more bodies of prisoners who have died in captivity. Sims settles in for the night, unaware that a man is watching her from a cliff. She tries to light a fire, but fails. Then the stranger comes down to the shore. The woman grabs a hatchet. The man explains that he used to be a doctor, so he greets all newcomers and examines them.
It's wild mimosa. You want to snort?
I don't want to get stoned.
What's your name?
Carmen.
Mine's Milford.
The rest are settled nearby in a camp, and now there are about 40 people left, although there were 75 when he first arrived on the island, and there aren't many women.
I saw 2 bodies in the water. How did they get there?
Everybody on this island's a killer. Except me. I'm innocent.
Yeah. Aren't we all?
The doctor leaves, and Carmen stays to sleep on the shore. In the morning, she heads to the prisoners' camp. Soon, she sees people in uniform clothing going about their daily routines. At this moment, Bobby, who has taken charge of the camp, emerges from his hut with his loyal assistant, Monk. They see Carmen entering the camp. Around them, many men and only 3 women. Bobby orders Monk to escort the woman.
Yeah, you look like you could take on about 3 or 4 right off.
Get your hands off of me.
I don't know what you thought before you got to this island, but I'm gonna tell you what to think now. Welcome to Terminal Island, baby.
Leaving the crying woman behind, Monk gives the order to begin work. Everyone leaves. In the evening, the women return to their hut and find Carmen lying on a mat. One of the women, Bunny, attacks her and drags her onto the floor. A confused Carmen doesn't understand what she did wrong. Joy explains the problem.
What was that all about? You were lying in her corner. Okay. I'll take this corner if nobody objects.
I wouldn't do that.
Why not?
That's her corner, too.
Angry, Carmen says she wants to leave altogether since these accommodations don't suit her. But at the exit, she is met by a couple of men who shove her back inside. She can't understand why she's being treated this way or why things are run like this here.
Why are we penned in here like pigs? Because we're too valuable to run loose.
Valuable?
The women explain to her that she's ended up among the privileged beauties who, in addition to working, must also stay close to all the men. But Carmen is not the type to let herself be bossed around. She promises to deal with Bobby and advises the other beauties to be careful with her. Finally, she addresses the one who knocked her off the mat.
One more squawk out of you, myth freak. And I'll do to you what I did to my last cellmate when she leaned on me.
Is that a fact?
Despite her attitude, the next day Carmen ends up in a harness with Lee and together with the others begins plowing the vegetable garden. The women play the role of horses, pulling the plow themselves. When the man in charge realizes his workers are tired, he gives them a short break and steps aside. Carmen can't understand why the women put up with such treatment.
Has anybody ever tried to stand up to them?
Sure. They're either dead or gone.
Gone where?
Oh, some guys escaped. They're hiding out somewhere, if they're still alive.
Maybe I'll join them.
What makes you think they're any better than these cruds around here?
While the women are talking, one of the workers asks for water, but the brute pours the cup in her face. The youngest of the men, Chino, feels sorry for her and gives her water, for which he immediately gets struck by the leader. A knife fight breaks out, which is stopped by the arrival of Bobby and Monk.
All right, cut the crap.
Chino leaves, and the woman receives her punishment.
Fieldwork just doesn't seem to agree with these ladies. Their minds wander. Starting this afternoon, you'll help build a storehouse. Maybe that'll hold your attention.
The women are sent to do construction work, where they have to knead clay and carry heavy stones. Carmen quickly rubs her hands raw, and the doctor approaches to help her and decides to bandage her hands. However, Carmen is very displeased with his presence.
You could have told me what it was like, and I wouldn't have come here. I'd have hid out.
Look, out there alone you die. At least here you'll live.
But then Monk shows up and orders Carmen to get back to work. In the evening, the women return to their hut, but Monk announces a night shift for everyone.
Don't get too cozy. Everybody's working a night shift tonight.
Morning comes. The women lay out food when one of the workers pushes the brute, causing him to drop his plate. A fight breaks out, ending in the death of the unfortunate man, whose body is thrown into the sea. Meanwhile, the women are doing laundry.
Did you ever hear Bunny talk?
No, she stopped when she killed her folks.
I wonder why.
She never told us.
Suddenly, a group of escaped prisoners, those who refuse to live under Bobby's rules, ambush the guards. After taking out the security, they take the women with them. The survivors realize Bobby will be furious. That evening, the fugitives settle around a campfire, eating freshly caught game and imagining Bobby seething in rage. In the morning, the men discuss where to go next and what to do with the women. However, Carmen refuses to return to Bobby's camp.
Nobody's gonna put me in no cage again.
But the other women don't agree with that decision either. They understand this group is much smaller than Bobby's gang and wouldn't stand a chance in an open fight. The group splits up. Later, while Joy is practicing archery, Lee finds a strange stone in the stream.
Your turn. In a minute. You know what this is? Well, let me think. A rock. It's niter. We can get potassium nitrate from it. Terrific. If we mix it with sulfur and charcoal, we can make gunpowder and some pretty deadly hand grenades.
What y'all doing?
You ready for World War III?
Shoot, honey, I'm ready for anything.
Meanwhile, Carmen brings AJ a herb from which poison can be made. She learned the recipe from her grandmother, a voodoo worshiper, and is ready to prepare a deadly mixture. She returns the man's knife, though he offers it to her for self-defense. But Carmen is more concerned with another matter.
AJ,
Yeah?
why'd you take us away from Bobby?
I don't like to fish alone.
Bunny also finds a man who treats her with kindness and respect. He asks her to gather some berries while he hunts for their dinner. At the same time, back at Bobby's camp, he's raging with anger, ordering Monk to find the fugitives and bring the women back. Meanwhile, Izzy offers Joy some wild honey.
As soon as I get the chance, I'm gonna brew up some more of that sauce.
What's that?
That's royal jelly. Those bees will stomp all over your body if you get any of that on you. There's a whole hive of them right there in that stump.
How nice.
Later, the woman leads Tyler to the place where the beehive is and invites him to taste the honey.
Hi.
Hi.
She scoops out a bit of sweetness and gives him a massage, then slaps the hive. The angry bees swarm over the man covered in honey. He's forced to run, diving into a puddle to escape as Joy laughs brightly. While the other men laugh at the unlucky lover, Bobby's men attack the camp. Cornell fights Monk while the others flee.
Get me some time. You got it. Hey, brother. Looking for something?
After holding off the pursuers, he catches up with the group and they disappear into the forest, leaving traps behind. One of the chasers dies in the trap. Monk reports to Bobby about the loss of a couple of their men and his failure to capture the others. Meanwhile, in the fugitives' camp, one of the wounded men is getting worse.
Is it ready? Yeah.
Don't do it. We need you.
Look, I can't just sit here and watch him bleed to death.
AJ decides to take a desperate step. Later, AJ brings the doctor, but it's already too late. In the morning, the group discusses their situation. They can't keep running across the island forever, which means they need to get rid of Bobby and his gang. None of them will ever get off the island, and no one wants to spend the rest of their life hiding.
I'm the only one that stood up to him, and I almost lost my ass doing it.
The women also support the idea of eliminating their enemies.
Here it is. Witch's brew. How strong is this stuff? With one of these in you? You'll be dead in about 10 seconds.
This thing won't backfire, will it?
Or just be sure you blow instead of suck.
Later, the group buries the fallen man, and the doctor decides to stay with the new crew. Meanwhile, back at Bobby's camp, one of the inmates is building a simple radio, and the boss finds the right frequency. At the same time, Lee and some of the men begin making gunpowder. After grinding the necessary ingredients, they fill them into flasks. Now all that's left is to light the fuse before throwing.
Here, catch! Duck!
Meanwhile, Bobby's men find Bunny at the waterfall and take her with them. But one of them stays behind and meets Izzy's axe. At that very moment, Bobby is listening to the radio.
What is it? The picket ship. They're bringing in supplies in the morning. It's so perfect. And she'll make it so easy.
Meanwhile, the others follow Bunny's trail and see the woman being tied to posts on the seashore as bait. The women rush to help, but realize they can't handle the bandits. Then a police boat approaches the island. Bobby and his gang hide in the rocks.
What are they pulling? Where the hell is Lee?
While the police unload crates of supplies onto the shore, one of them goes to help the woman. She runs away. At that moment, one of Bobby's men swims to the boat, kills the officer, grabs his rifle, and opens fire on those on the beach. Bobby's bandits arm themselves, and while one stays behind to watch the boat, the others head back to the camp. Meanwhile, AJ's group discusses the situation.
That's why we're going.
How do we get close without getting shot?
Same as they did.
You can swim?
Like a water snake.
At this moment, Bobby shoots a gang member who dared to contradict him.
Okay, hold it right there.
I don't need you. I don't need anybody. But these and the bunker.
Back on the shore, Izzy kills the boat guard with a blowgun. The bandit dies, and now the group has a pistol and a boat.
Down to some gas. I ain't got my bike with me. Yeah, bring it. We're going into battle, and that burns very hot.
What about this?
That's too heavy, and they may be back any minute now.
Just then, the doctor sees Bunny and rushes to help her. Suddenly, the girl begins to speak and begs to go home. Back at the camp, Bobby accuses Monk of cowardice. Monk, in turn, reminds him that too many of their men have died in the past month. He's starting to fear those who have turned against them.
You're afraid, Monk.
Bullshit.
You think they're gonna come after us now, don't you? Well, they are.
How do you know that?
Because they're smart and strong. The only strong ones left besides me. And you.
That night by the campfire, the doctor tells how he was convicted for disconnecting life support from a patient who was already dead, and that he doesn't want to return to a world that betrayed him.
I withdrew it, with his wife's permission. I was convicted on a legal technicality.
In the morning, the group moves toward Bobby's camp, but it is deserted.
He's waiting for us.
Bobby?
Yeah.
How do you know?
Take a look at camp. There's no sign of life, is there?
Where are they?
They're probably hiding behind the tents.
Maybe they got a plan of their own.
But that changes nothing for the group. Everyone heads to their assigned positions. The women prepare gasoline canisters and homemade grenades. The men get ready for the assault. Joy gives Bunny instructions while Tyler pours fuel into pipes leading into Bobby's bunker.
Okay, Bunny. Now, when we wave this, I want you to open the cans and light this and throw it in the trough. Okay? Now don't let us down.
Good luck.
First, a toilet explodes with one of the bandits inside. Then grenades fly into the huts. Panic erupts in the camp. No one knows what's happening, but Bobby and Monk return fire with captured weapons. During the shootout, Cornell is killed. Bobby keeps shooting from the storage shed, and Lee grabs a grenade and runs toward the bunker. There's an explosion, but Bobby survives and shoots the woman in the back, killing her. Wounded, Monk makes it to Bobby's bunker. Now the two of them are shooting together, but Monk is frustrated that Bobby is wasting too many bullets. Joy frantically waves a cloth, but Bunny is in shock and can't remember what she's supposed to do. She runs to help the wounded, only to be shot herself. Then the doctor runs after her, carries her to safety, and rushes to the pipes, pours gasoline into the drainage system, and sets it alight. Bobby realizes too late what's happening. The explosion tears through the bunker, killing him instantly. Peace and calm return to the camp.
Boy, will I be happy 4 months from now.
Because the baby will be here?
No, because I can stop drinking this lousy goat's milk.
People get back to their routines, and even the now blind Monk is given work. One day, a police boat docks on the shore, summoning the doctor. They inform him that his case is being reopened, but the doctor says Milford is dead.
I don't know why I did that. I'd have to go through another trial. Maybe end up here again. Yeah. I do know why. I don't want to go back. Ever. Lee was right. This is home now.
A new woman steps onto the shore and listens as the doctor and Bunny welcome her to the prison island.
Hello. Who are you?
I'm Dana.
Welcome to Terminal Island.